Hi, it's Vernon at Improve My World. My last video was about adolescence, and in particular the skill that the psychologist shows when interviewing the troubled Jamie. I now want to talk a little bit more about the role of parents, because the family unit here is extremely important to what happens to Jamie. You see, Jamie is basically a kind, gentle person. He's more interested in art and music than he is in sport. His father, on the other hand, is a much tougher sort of person who had a very tough upbringing. His father, he tells us, beat him when he was smaller. He had to fend for himself, and he's big enough to be able to do that. However, he has major anger issues, and they are demonstrated particularly in episode 4. And the problem is that the little boy has grown up with the impression that the father is wanting him to be more like him, and he's not. He's gentle and he's kind and he's interested in art. He's not interested in sport. And that is a disappointment to his father, but the problem is the father shows it and the son knows it. So he says, on 2 occasions, it was a repetition, but he says, well, he was playing football and he didn't do very well, and he looked at his father turned away. His father was really, really disappointed. He was embarrassed, he said. He was in disgust at what his son was doing. And of course, all these little slight, this is just one of obviously several things. He then says he took his son to do boxing. Of course, that didn't go down very well either. So what's happened in the son is the son has repressed the gentleness, the kindness. And all that comes out is this feeling that he has that he's inadequate, he's unloved. He's not living up to the expectations of his father. All this is subconscious. The father is not intending to do any harm. He's trying actually to, his intention is for the son to be strong and able to cope. But he doesn't realize he's a very, very different sort of person from himself. And he's leaving behind in the son this really dangerous feeling. I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. I have to prove myself in some way. And of course, as he grows up, the same thing happens again with his relationship with girls. As soon as he's turned down, same thing. I'm not loved, I'm never going to be okay. And the phrase incel comes in, which is the sort of inevitable feeling that he's never going to be loved by anybody. So what we have to see here is that the son is repressing his gentle tendencies, and they are showing up, however, in the opposite end, which is in violence. And when he gets onto the internet, when he starts looking at some of the stuff which is very misoginistic, which is about violence on women, which is about getting your own back, which is actually being able to be a man, this is his impression of what masculinity is, he then goes off the rails. His anger comes out in all kinds of different ways, and of course leads him to the fatal murder of a girl. So parents, we need to be extremely careful of what we say, how we say it. We need to understand our children and allow them to grow in whatever way suits them best and is best for them, not necessarily in our own image. On the contrary, sometimes our image is not the right one. So, and in the case of a child, he needs help to actually see that he's actually kind and gentle, and that all this stuff he's been looking at is just a false illusion, but it's leading him down a very dangerous road. There's a lot to take out from this wonderful Netflix film called Adolescence, and I hope parents and children will watch it together and draw the lessons from it. They're very, very important lessons. Have a lovely day.